Use whichever method is most logical to yourself. Once again, many people have many different methods to speed up calculations. Don't try and learn them all, just learn the ways that make the most sense to you and that are easy to learn. Now let's extend our discussion to IP version 4 addresses. An IP version 4 address is used to uniquely identify a device in an IP network. IP version 4 addresses are 4 octets in length. In other words, there are 4 groupings of 8 bits, or 4 times 8. Each octet is 8 bits in length in the range 0 to 255. Just imagine that a bit is a logical cable that can have current or not have current. In other videos, I'm going to explain IP addressing in a lot more detail as well as subnetting. But for now, just understand that an IP version 4 address is 4 octets, in other words, 4 times 8 bits. IP version 4 addresses can be represented in both binary and decimal format. So here's an example. 10.1.23.19 is the decimal representation of an IP address, in this case IP version 4. That can be represented as follows in binary. So 10 equates to 4 binary zeros followed by 1010. 7 binary zeros followed by a 1 in binary is the equivalent of decimal 1. 3 zeros, 1, 0, 111 is the binary equivalent of 23. And 3 zeros, 1, 0011 is the equivalent of 19. This is kind of like saying tomato versus tomato, or router versus router. Use whichever term you prefer. For networking, however, it's important that you know both decimal and binary. So let's start with 10. 8 plus 2 equals 10. In other words, this bit is on and this bit is on. The other bits are set off. 8 plus 2 equals 10, and thus 4 binary zeros followed by 1010 is the equivalent of 10 in decimal. 8 plus 2 equals 10. Other bits are set off. Only these 2 bits are on. What about 129? 128 plus 1 equals 129. This bit and this bit are set on, and other bits are set off. Thus 1 followed by 6 binary zeros followed by a 1 is equivalent to 129 in decimal. Using our language analogy, this is French and this is English. Different language, but we're saying the same thing. What about 16? So 16 equals 16. This is an easy one. This bit is the equivalent of 16, so that bit is set on and the other bits are set off. So 000, 1, quadruple 0 in binary is equivalent to 16 in decimal. And lastly, 123. 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1 equals 123. In other words, the first bit is off, second bit is on, which equals 64, third bit is on, which is 32, fourth bit is 16, fifth bit is 8, seventh bit is on, which is 2, and last bit is 1. So 64, 32, 16, 8 plus 2 plus 1 gives us 123. In other words, 0 followed by 4 binary 1s, followed by a binary 0, followed by 2 binary 1s, is the equivalent of 123 in decimal. So just to reiterate, remember 2 to the power of 0 equals 1 in decimal, 2 to the power of 1 equals 2 in decimal, 2 to the power of 3 equals 8 in decimal, 2 to the power of 4 is 16, 2 to the power of 5 is 32, 2 to the power of 6 is 64, so 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1 equals 123. So the most significant bit is set off, the second, third, fourth, fifth bit is set on, the sixth bit is set off, and the seventh and eighth bit is set on. That gives us this value in binary, which is the equivalent of 123 in decimal. I'm hoping that this shows you how to convert a decimal IP address into binary.